Start here. Hi, everybody. I want to talk to you about real quick um, how to sell rust on eBay. So I came upon an auction. Actually, it was end of last year. I ended up buying a pallet full of gears, lots of gears, and basically they were tractor parts. They were old harvesters, antique harvester, and Caterpillar, tractor parts. Big pallet full of them. I have a video of that auction you can go over and look at on my YouTube channel. Just want to let you know kind of what I'm doing with them. So I put them in my antique booth is where I usually would sell them, but so I started checking out selling them on eBay, and I actually have done pretty good with them. It's not a fast mover, heavy hitter kind of a bolo thing. There are some other things being sold similar to that, but it is a kind of a steady doing steady sales. And the fact that this pallet, I must have had 60 or 80 of these gears, all different sizes, all different shapes, most all rusty, some with paint, some with not, were on there. So so I started putting some of these up here. I've only been able to go back on eBay back to see the last three that I sold. But what I'll do here is I'll show you just a quick look at some of these. So this is one of the ones I sold probably back about 2 months ago. I'm selling about two or three of these a month. Is the way it's going, and I had to feel out the pricing for these things because one of the things that you're going to see here is the shipping. Shipping, of course, these are heavy. These are made out of steel. These particular ones are about 4 inches. As you can see, they're about 4 inches, each one of these. I started shipping them in medium flat rate boxes. Some of the bigger ones I ship in large flat rate, but I ship these little ones. I can get up to three in a medium box. You can get up to 70 pounds in a medium box. So, well, let me just try that. I didn't do anything to these. Some of these I may have just lightly brushed them off with a broom because they had some mud caked on them. I wanted to get down to the actual paint and patina that were on some of these. I've had some ones that had red paint and yellow paint on them, and I've since sold those. So I'm down to these ones without paint, which I just sold this one. Um, anyhow, so that's one of the ones I sold for 15 bucks. I started them off. Oh, I started at like 20 and started working my way down, and I actually found this kind of a sweet spot, so I can sell both of these for $15. I paid probably 20 cents for these things each, basically for pennies. Because I bought so many of them, I'm able to store them outside. I keep them in a box out in my backyard, so it doesn't really take up a lot of storage. When I go out there, I pick them up, I clean them off, I take pictures outside, and I put them in another box, which is my eBay box. So it's the ones that I've got basically inventory to go out to eBay. Um, this is another kind of gear. As you see, there's mud still in this one. I, my description is basically I'm selling it as is. It's got dents, it's got dings, it's got cracks. They may have cracks and dings and dents and rusts. Everything you normally don't want to have on an item, I disclose and say this is what these have because these are purely antique, collectible for art purposes. I think I even put in here that these gears are, original farm equipment from the 1900s, and most of these, that's true, most of these are from harvesters. Great for steampunk art projects. They're heavy, and I'm trying to keep the cost low by uh, doing flat rate shipping. But so they're rusty, they have dirt on them, they have chips on them, they have dents and scratches, and they have some still have remnants of paint. Um, so anyhow, that's the way I'm selling these. I'm doing these for $14.99. Now I've had some previous ones that I did sell for more, and I'm sorry I don't have examples of them. They're farther back than this year. I think they went back. I sold those around the end of last year, and for some reason I can't seem to go back. I don't see them on eBay when I go back and look at my sold stuff prior to 2015. So anyhow, this is what I've got going so far. Now this particular one is one that I just sold. I just sold this one to this week. This is the back of it. I also do edge pictures of them to show the edge. Sorry, trying to zoom it in here to where I can see it better. Yeah, so you can do see the edge of it, get an idea for I lay a ruler down in front of it when I take pictures. Also, got one here. So I put a ruler on there. This one's 9 inches from the tip of the gear to tip of the gear, and it weighs about 7 pounds. Usually don't disclose the weight because weight doesn't mean anything because I'm shipping flat rate. So, but it does mean something when you're looking at how you're going to ship it. So I did everything, and I'm actually giving you my discount when I do this. I'm including my discount on this. So I'm doing a flat shipping fee for everybody. I'm in California, so it costs me a little bit more to ship to New York than what most people from the center part of the country are. So, so this is what I'm doing. So this is kind of what I'm selling, and it's working. It's kind of a steady thing. Of course, the more decorative these things are, the better. The more writing that's on these, as you see, some of these might have some numbers stamped in them or names stamped in them. They're painted. They do a little better if they're painted. I've had some that I sold that had basically holes cut around in the inside of the gear, which gives it a flowing look. And so anyone trying to do some kind of art, they make lamps, they make clocks, they make all kinds of stuff out of these things. So, but anyhow, that's what I got so far. And that's what I have sold so far. So what I want to do next is just basically show you how I pack these up for shipping, this particular one, which I just sold, and get it off to the customer. So there's two ways of starting off. Is I have this I got for free. It's a pretty thick padded envelope. It's thickly padded, not bubble wrap padded, but it's just thick padded. I got these for free. I got a box of these for free. So I'm not paying for anything for this. And in this case, like I'm going to use it for this gear. It gives a lot of extra padding. Plus, I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to tape it, and that'll give it a really good padding. Normally what I'll do is I'll take this thing, I'll start wrapping this in newspaper. I get a lot of my papers for free. I go and I get papers, I get these newspapers for free. I get the freebie stuff that comes in the mail. I just save all this. I pick all this stuff up and I save it. And I get these freebie newspapers that come out at newsstands, and when they're getting ready to throw them away, I'll grab a handful. I just kind of, as I go through my daily routine, I start picking those things up. When I do that, it saves me. I have a box. I just put them all in a box, and boom, done. And I have to keep up on it. Lately, I've been using a lot of newspaper, but so it's free. The only downside with using newspaper is if you're going to do clothing, I would not wrap it in clothing because the ink, as you see, my fingers are starting to get black when touching this newspaper. Some of these newspapers, the ink comes right off. So anything that you think that it could get ink on it, you don't want to use the newspaper for. So now we got this thing pretty settled, and honestly, I'm not going to use too much newspaper. I'm just setting this bad boy in here just like that, and I don't think it's going anywhere. So first, I got one piece here. Before I do that, got these extra pieces of cardboard. I just lay these in the bottom. I just like to give it a little extra padding or a little extra support in the bottom. Sometimes I will take and line the edges. In this case, I don't think I have to. If I did not wrap this up in this envelope so well, I would have probably put cardboard around the edges too, just laid some pieces in there, because I don't want that gear, the points of that gear coming through the sides. So I am going to put that in just like that. And next thing I do, I think I might stuff a little bit of paper in there first, because this guy is still pretty heavy. And I'm just bagging this sucker up, wadding them up in balls, stick them in there kind of as fast as I can. Unfortunately, this particular paper is stapled. It's real thin. Some of these are thin, some are thick. Throwing some of these back in here. Get some of these ads. Just to give it enough padding so the bottom isn't touching the heavy part very well. Paper. Plus, somebody, and I think this is getting shipped to Missouri. Somebody in Missouri is going to get a Spanish newspaper they can read. All right, so let's try this again. So now it's sitting kind of in the middle, and the padding on the side of this is holding in pretty good. So it's just like that. Yes, this is going to be heavy. Like I said, this is 7 pounds. I can't imagine shipping 70 pounds in one of these boxes. If they drop it, I just think it would just explode. Because the size, to me, the sides of these boxes just aren't thick enough to hold 70 pounds worth of anything. But you guys may have more experience with that. I'm trying to do this quick so you're not sitting here watching me unfold newspaper. So what I'm looking for is to get enough in here so that there's not any shake. You know, you give it the shake test. I'll show you here in a minute. So I'll go ahead and lay this piece on the top just to kind of hold it now. Just temporarily here, I'm going to shut this up. I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to give it a shake test here. It's not moving. It's pretty tight. I don't want it to have any freedom in there because that gives it that extra momentum to go flying, and it keeps going and going and make its way out through the side. But that envelope, the envelope inside, should hold it down pretty good. So the next part of this is taping this guy up. There's a lot of weight in here. It's going to be pressing up through here. I am not stingy with my tape. I never am. I don't worry about, I try to buy decent tape, but I don't worry about, you know, being chintzy with it. Because honestly, this is what's going to save your butt, is you put as much tape on here as you can. Going across it. I do a couple over here. I got 3 going this way. I'm going to do 3 or 4 going the other way. I did the exact same pattern on the bottom of the box also, so it's crisscrossing. And there you go. So now we've got our medium flat rate rusty steel gear ready to hit the mail.